All right, everyone, welcome back to another Complexity Cast presentation, bringing you this group stage match out of Dreamhack Winter Static 2 series between QsQ and TteS. We just had an absolutely incredible game. I'm your casting host, Beef. Joining me is Emperor, aka Bryest of Domain of Pain. Dude, that last game was incredible.
Yeah, I think that was one of the best games I've ever seen, and not much. I think the cream of the crop game for DreamHack so far. Blind Band's already coming out here from TteS and QsQ. QsQ actually banning Warbeast and Wild Soul. TteS not really known for their Warbeast as much, although White and Riser have been known to play it. Riser not being here today, instead replaced by Juppins. And Ophelia and Parasite coming out from TteS. First pick for QsQ, so not surprised to see that Ophelia ban. Papa Male also known for his Parasite, and you can't really do anything about a Parasite in the jungle. There's pretty much like no real way to slow him down, so not surprising to see that banned against QsQ.
Yeah, Parasite, very, very strong hero that's able to just make sure to provide assistance to whatever lanes he's in, well, to the lanes surrounding the jungle that he's in. Get those early ganks off, get those picks in the mid-game, set up good team fights. Very, very versatile hero, and one that gets blind banned quite so often. And now moving into this lockpick stage, coming out already, Keeper of the Forest and TteS, two very, very standard heroes to have in your lockpick, both with that jungle push and suicide abilities. So very strong. Would not be surprised to see maybe Legionnaire or some other jungle join them in there as well. But a Pharaoh making it into the lock pool as well. A hero that we don't see nearly as often in today's metagame. But what do you think about this hero?
Well, QsQ plays Pharaoh very, very well, and normally not necessarily the strongest suicide, but a lot of times Nova actually sort of mitigates that. But as a support here, we actually goes up in lanes with that Pharaoh, sometimes against the solo short lane of the enemy team, and actually gives the Pharaoh a little bit of an edge before he goes and leaves him alone. So they play with it very, very well. They do a lot of aggressive ganking, very strong with it in general. It is the go-to suicide hero of QsQ, and Yunasum fans, I'd say favorite suicide. Interesting, you usually see Keeper and TteS both locked together in the pool. They're both suicide capable. They're both jungle capable, very versatile locks. And TteS does, sort of cancel out the TteS. The Keeper does cancel out the TteS a little bit, as said. I know TteS feels a little bit of a stronger lock for their team because I know they have a stronger Suicide Keeper. I don't think Yunasum fan is as comfortable playing Suicide Keeper as TteS is with Juppins on that role. I know he prefers heroes like Plague and Pharaoh for the Suicide role. So I think they know if Keeper is going to be picked up by QsQ, it probably will be more of a jungle slot there. Maybe they don't fear it as much.
All right. Rounding out that lockpick, we do actually have Voodoo Jester, Glacius, and Engineer, so three supporting type heroes. Voodoo Jester actually being a hero that Nova played quite a bit recently. You think we might see that one in this game?
Oh, very possible. I mean, yeah, I see him play it all the time, and I see him pick out a block pool all the time. I think it's that they know that as a support hero, TteS is probably not going to draft it. It's a safe support they have locked. They can focus on other picks for their first three hero. Instantly going out with Plague Ride already. With Pharaoh in the lock pool, are they trying to pull something tricky here? I don't know. It seems like they already drafted their suicide, so maybe they're not looking to grab Pharaoh after all.
Oh, very, very interesting. Maybe a case of drafting Pharaoh in that lock so that they can have that suicide secured possibly, but then seeing the Plague Rider make it through the banning stage, picked it up as a kind of a snap decision. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that, but who's to say? I could be just kind of jumping at conclusions here. But I would definitely like to see Voodoo Jester in this game. He's one of my favorite heroes, a hero with incredible ability to really control a lane once it comes down to level 3 or so, and that ability to put that Cursed Ground out there just does so much damage if you're able to sink a little bit of damage in there. Get those very aggressive kills at level 3. And going on from there, the Cask, the Acid Cocktail, is just one of the strongest stuns in the game if you land that up right. Able to bounce everywhere for 8 solid seconds, whatever. You can keep 2 to 3 heroes locked down for like 4 or 5 seconds if you get proper bounces with that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brutal.
Real quick here, I'm not exactly sure if I like what QsQ has going into this lock phase. I mean, it looks like TteS is shaping up to want that Engineer with that Magnus pickup. I guess they could do a Glacius instead, But are they figuring that QsQ? I mean, they have Draconis, they have a Doctor, they have a Plague Rider. They actually went for Pharaoh as well. I'm not sure why they picked up Plague Rider now. I
Yeah,
guess they have another tool to potentially disrupt Tempest, but I don't even think TTS wants Tempest.
yeah,
So,
they don't pick him up.
yeah, they have the NG Mag mid lane, very powerful. I think maybe a Draconis dual lane mid can stand up to it, but you're looking, okay, at a Voodoo Jester, no front load damage coming there. Draconis to follow up. If I had to compare a Voodoo plus Draconis to an NG Mag, I'll take an NG Mag any day. It looks like they have a Suicide Keeper coming out here, if I'm not mistaken. And, Andro's Silhouette lane. I must say, I actually love that lane a lot. Andro should do just a fine job up top with that Silhouette edging the Pharaoh out. And he can actually roam for that mid lane of Magnus NG, making it very hard for Draconis to get farm. I'll be interested to see how that plays out.
Well, we will have to see how it does play out indeed. Because these are some very unorthodox heroes coming out. Dr. Repulsor and Voodoo Jester both for the QsQ side. We'll see. We don't get to see either of those happen too often. And of course, the Andromeda, someone that we don't see all too often, but still, of course, a very, very strong hero. A few months back, people were claiming, well, I guess probably a couple more than a few months back, but people were claiming her to be the strongest support in the game with that very strong stun and those abilities that are very good. The Aura and the Aurora and the Swap, keeping your carry safe. How would you rate her in the current metagame as a support?
I think she's still alright. I think she does a better job going, like, say, if you're running an offensive tri-lane than, like, a Glacius would. I like her more in that role. She's still okay. There is a little bit of synergy going on between Andromeda and Engineer in team fights, too. It's usually a pretty deadly combo. You have the ultis going down. You can always swap into it. It gives you more options. Other than that, Andro Silhouette lane, very, very, very powerful. I feel like QsQ and Andro against Pharaoh also sort of noted as not a counter, but pretty decent against it, since it sort of like mitigates what Pharaoh can do with that initial lockdown and mummy wall combo.
Real quick before we go any further, I just want to make sure we're still synced up after that pause. I'm at 39:38. This is on the in-game timer.
No, I'm at 14 seconds right now.
Okay. Did you skip
Is there?
the pause
Oh,
then?
you have your pauses.
Yeah, it turned off for some reason. So it's
Okay.
actually, if you want to
Let me-
pause yours real quick. And what time are you
Sure.
at?
I am now paused at 0-0.
0-0 in-game?
0. Yep, 0 in game. Yep.
Okay, so let me fast forward this for just a bit here. Really sorry about this, guys. Normally my my pause thing just skips automatically. Alright. Should caught up. So, once again, very sorry about that, guys. Should be good to go. Are you ready for a countdown now?
Ready to go.
Okie dokie. Going in 3, 2, 1.
Good to go.
Okay. So now I'm at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So now the lanes are shaping up. As you said, Engineer Magnus going to be the middle lane. Going to be going up against a solo Draconis right now. No, Voodoo Jester will be making his way back over there. He's just going up to drop that ward. And he is going to drop the ward within sight of the Elborn ward. Even a Comet going to be coming out right there. So White actually putting down a little bit of harassment. And Nova not able to put that ward down in time is going to have to go back, eat a tree, and go for round 2. But White doing a fantastic job of defending that pull. And it looks like he's actually going to be able to stack this pull.
Look how I mentioned already, they do have that the support hero assisting the Pharaoh in that top lane, not just leaving him alone. We looked at White here, protecting the pool. Excellent job by him, especially when we were running the dual lane top. Wonderful job by him to protect that pool. What I'm interested to see is this bottom matchup. Last game we saw Style, Silhouette versus Keeper. Silhouette does win that matchup, but usually not in as dominating a fashion as I saw last game. Style truly outplaying that lane. I'm interested to see what he does here with Doctor. Doctor on paper should perform pretty decently, I'd imagine, against a Keeper, being able to edge him off the creep wave with the contraptions. But still, it should push the lane and allow Keeper to get some CS at the tower as well. So I'm really not sure how this one's going to play out. I don't think he'll be able to dominate him quite as hard as he did last game with the Silhouette.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, 2 out of the 3 abilities for this Dr. Repulsor to really put out that harassment are AoE based. We have both the Electric Frenzy and the Magnetic Contraption, which Magnetic Contraption level 2 right now. Do you agree with that build?
I typically like to see level 3 in pull. He probably did it as sort of a He's going to push up the lane really fast against his keeper, I guess. His keeper can't really do anything aggressive against him. And, yeah, I don't know. Probably just because he's against a melee hero. A little bit more output that way. I think it's usually a little bit overkill. And I think Doctor is usually a little bit stronger with more points in opposite charges. But it's probably just a situational build there.
Okay, all right. Right now, Waitalba is actually doing some counter warding right here. Already did get that pull stacked once, and using that courier is going to be able to get that ward down. So once again, the advantage of getting that ward there nice and early, able to get that one, brings home 50 gold, and going to continue stacking that so that they're going to have favorable lane position in this short lane. We already saw Pharaoh was having to defend a little bit of harassment coming out onto this Plague Rider using Wall of Mummies, but this is going to be a pretty good lane here for the Hellborn team in the top lane.
For sure. So far, Pharaoh keeping up in CS with Silhouette mid lane. Let's look at Draconis compared to Magnus. Pretty even right now. Draconis actually with a double range lane, edging him out a little bit better. Yeah, doing some great denies there actually against Magnus. Magnus does not have a hatchet. Shield's probably a good idea to have against this double range lane, so I can't fault him there.
Yeah, and so Moravis there on the Magnus in middle lane. If we actually take a look at his CS, it is 7-0 right now as opposed to the 8-3 from Nox on that Draconis. So Nox having a pretty good time there in that middle lane, as you might expect with a double ranged lane against a ranged melee. But actually, Lava Surge going to be coming in as well as the Keg right now. And Draconis having to try to get out of there, but will he be able to? No! The auto attack's coming in from Moravis, and we talked about it earlier, that Engineer Magnus lane, so strong. You gave it the edge over a Voodoo Gesture lane, and right there, definitely paid off for them.
And to make it worse, whenever a kill happens in those lanes, I try to look at which of the heroes got killed. Is it the point hero? Is it the Draconis? Is it the Magnus? You know, that point hero, the farming hero for the lane. They actually got the first blood on their quote-unquote carry for the lane onto Draconis. So that's just going to swing them onto the lane so much. Provide control of this 4-minute rune as well in favor of TteS. So I don't know why Nox was playing that far up. I mean, he knew the Voodoo Gesture was gone, looking to ward, looking to go check the rune. I mean, he has an escape mechanism. There was no excuse for him to get caught there, and that really is going to set a bad pace for him in the middle of the lane, which he can't really afford when running a dual range lane in mid, trying to assert lane control in the first place.
Yeah, I can certainly agree with you on that one. Moravis does actually take advantage of the Dead Dragon. He goes and bottles up the rune bottom, where Dr. Repulsor's level 5 out of mana right now. Moravis is going to come in. He's going to land the Lava Surge right there. Start putting in some auto attacks. Will he be able to get the body blocks that he needs? He needs to get the surround with those tree dogs, and he gets it right there. Jeppins with a beautiful surround, and down goes Style. The TTEs boys off to a great start right now, especially Moravis.
Yeah, and that's what, going back again to once again using those tree dogs for more than just pushing. Separates a keeper from a great keeper. You know, Doctor was looking like he almost might escape there, but he got the summon off, just barely edged him out, got the surround, and they were able to pummel in quite a few more auto attacks.
Yeah, getting the kill on that short lane solo, of course, is extremely important because Slick's up here right now, 245 GPM for the time being versus the 229 of Style. And Slicks is having to do that against 2 heroes rather than just one. And Jeppin's got a second kill? What?
I kind of want to rewind to go see that moment, but I know that we probably shouldn't break pace here. But how he did that alone, and Sal had to have full HP. He's still level 5. That I'm not so sure about.
Yeah, level 5, Dr. Repulsor. I mean, of course, getting that kill. Jeppins was already holding his own, though, and Jeppins now at 386 GPM. Of course, getting 2 kills right there. He's in great position.
Definitely a different pace from the previous game. We saw Doctor was doing decent against the keeper, but in order to do so, he was having to burn through most of his mana pool, and he was pushing the lane quite a lot. He didn't even opt for Ring of the Teacher per se. I think if he did get an earlier Ring of the Teacher, he actually could have maybe even pushed down the defense tower against his keeper, because he did have the lane way pushed up a number of times. I think that would have been a worthy purchase always for a side lane hero in general. But, I mean, you look at the last game, you look at how the Silhouette controlled the keeper. In this game, keeper's actually out-CSing, out-leveling everything compared to this Doctor, so...
mid lane, Keg and a turret going to be coming out onto Nox once again. One more auto attack, and Leon Black takes home that Dragon's Head. Invisible Voodoo Gesture up here. They want to make something happen, but it looks like the Hellborn team is really keen to what's going on. They're playing safe. Slicks is trying to get in range for these auto attacks, but actually the Curse Ground going to be coming in there. The keg bounces back, or the cast bounces back, and down goes Slicks. The Lava Surge being missed right there. So Moravis had a very good early game, but missing that one, that would have secured a kill onto that Pharaoh most likely. He wants to get a second one going in here, but actually going to back up for the time being. Now the keg going to be going down. A nice dodge there by Jonas Fan, and those phase boots actually go into a very good use right here, able to get on out of there. So nice job getting those phase boots nice and early. The mobility saving him right there.
Right, twice. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate that Moravis did not pick up the kill. Meanwhile, Slicks, did he teleport to the bottom lane? And this, wow.
After he died up top. And so they're going to get the deny. And there was even another kill right there in mid as Nox was caught out of position. So I moved the camera to bottom to look at that. And then Nox died in the middle, which is where I was looking before. Damn it, TTEs. Stop killing everything.
Yeah, two things about his comment. A little bit bold move by QsQ to give them the Keeper of the Forest 2 games in a row there. I mean, they did have first pick out of that lock pool. They said, here, TTS, take your most comfortable Suicide Hero, Juppins. We want you to have it. But if you want him to have it, that must mean you have a game plan in mind. And Doctor does not seem to be having the impact that Scylla had last game. There's a number of other options that can really control Keeper in that Suicide lane. It is not looking good for them.
Yeah, it's certainly a little bit of a strange pick, and TTE's capitalizing on their success in that bottom lane. Now going to spot out Nova on that Voodoo Jester right here. The Tree Dog's being summoned. The Lava Surge going to come in. The cask bouncing between the animated trees and not the heroes that he wanted it to. So Nova going to die down to he is actually only 1-1. So I thought he had more deaths, but I guess I was thinking about the 2 carry heroes who are a lot more important. Both at 0-3 here. So of the 7 kills for TTEs, 6 have been on the 2 ranged carries.
Oh yes, which is exactly where you'd like to see those kills placed. Silhouette's farm only 240. She only had 240 GPM actually. Not really much. I mean, she was against a. Wow, I mean, you got to give props to Pharaoh.
Oh, Lava Surge coming in right here as well as the Eruption, but canceled by that cast coming out right there. One more auto attack might be enough, and the turret, in fact, is sniped. Nox dying for the 4th time here on Draconis.
Yeah, I was going to say, Silhouette surprisingly did not have that much CS, even though she did have that short lane. It seemed like they had a much better setup compared to the awkward Plague Rider plus Pharaoh lane top. They did a decent job mitigating farm, but they've just been getting ganked all over the place. Especially, I have to place blame on that middle lane. Nox has taken so many needless deaths this game.
Yeah, down to 166 gold per minute. You talk about Draconis being one of the strongest farmers in the game, but will he be able to make a comeback from that bad of a start? I mean, we'll have to see. Japans right now is off to a fantastic start on the other hand. 416 gold per minute right now. Already working with that Ring of Sorcery. And now a Soul's Bulwark.
Yep. Meanwhile, what is Plague Rider? Plague Rider's got his boots. Voodoo Jester. Another thing about Voodoo Jester is he's probably going to be leveling up his Cursed Ground, but those casks, when you're looking at those Keeper minions, I mean, the effectiveness of those bounces also reduced quite a bit against the brute force pushes that TTS is able to put out against a lineup like that. They're not too worried about this initiate with Andrew there on the counter, so.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with you on that one. Voodoo Jester just continuing to look kind of like a worse and worse pick almost against that Keeper of the Forest. A couple of big item pickups going out right there. Leon Black actually picking up phase boots to accompany his power supply right there. As a support at 10 minutes in, he has to be absolutely ecstatic with being able to have those items going into this mid-game stage. And actually top lane, a cast can be going out once again, bouncing between nothing but creeps. And Moravis wants to go for a dive right here. Dr. Repulsor dropping that magnetic contraption, grabbing vision around him so they know what's coming. And Doctor is level 8 now, so he is able to have a couple of points into that opposite charges. They might want to make a team fight happen up here, but Legion team's outnumbered for the time being.
Yeah, Draconis also actually low on HP, low on mana. He cannot join them in that fight, so it would straight up be a 4v5 if they chose to engage. Not very good when you're already down 5,000 gold in the early game. I mean, it's a 5,000 gold lead, but take it in perspective to what minute is in the game. It's still the early game. There's that big of a gap. It is equivalent to like what would be a 10,000, gold lead or greater later on. So
Yeah, certainly. And of course, Pharaoh in the bottom lane does have a scroll of teleportation, but with only a 330 mana pool right now, utilizing 75 of that to get up to the lane is going to minimize his effectiveness if he does need to get involved into that team fight. And Nova right now, with that level 2 acid cocktail, is trying to clean up creep waves with it rather than saving it to use for the upcoming team fight. So he's not really going to be all that useful. He doesn't even have enough mana for one spell. Well, with a potion right there, he does have enough mana for one spell, but not going to have a Curse Ground and a Cask, which is what they desperately need. Another one going to go out right there, and the Cask actually does bounce correctly to the Magnus right there, but nothing that the Legion's going to be able to do, as this tower is going to fall. Goes to Leon Black, elevating the support farm up to 260 GPM.
Yeah, Jeppin's still without boots as well. He doesn't care. He's just this huge tanky presence up in the front. I think he knows that he doesn't have to worry about the burst from QsQ knocking him out before he can ult E2. I guess he figures he can get, sneak it in even if he's under assault right before he dies. So, and if they want to go all in on him and he still gets his ulti off, who cares at that point?
Who cares indeed? Draconis trying to get as much recovery farm as possible, but TTE's just continuing to knock these towers down. 1, 2, 3, and now they're going to be teleporting down to the bottom lane. The Lava Surge coming in right there onto Pharaoh. Jonasum fan might be in some trouble. Yepins is trying to get over there, but he does not have boots like we mentioned, so he's not going to be able to catch up and get that route. I just call Jeppins Yepins, and I think I like that name better.
A little bit of that Euro flavor sneaking in there. Well, he did go to Sweden for this tournament, right? So there you go. While he's in Europe, he is Yepins.
Yepins. Oh, actually, going to be coming in right here. The Plague not going to be coming out. He doesn't have enough mana. The Lava Surge in, but it returned. The Wrath of the Pharaoh coming out. The Plague coming out now, bouncing between a couple of the heroes. Does manage to pick off Magnus right there, but Jeppins actually turns the kill around and grabs Plague Rider. So right now, just Magnus for Plague Rider, but Keeper of the Forest might be in some trouble. The Ward of Revelation going down right there. The Acid Cocktail doing a decent amount, but Dr. Impulso using all of his mana to try to get the kill right there is in fact turned around on his Six, picks that one up. The turret going to be coming out from Leon Black, but not going to be enough. The rest of the Legion team is going to escape a 1-for-2 trade in favor of TTEs right here, and now they're going to be able to freely push this tower.
For sure. I've got to say, I've always thought that was a very dirty change made to Keeper, where his tree dogs actually also count as trees for that invisibility. He's in the middle of the lane there. He's nowhere near actual trees to invis himself right there, but if he gets it off and they don't have any counter invis, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. And they did actually have the Ward of Revelation down there. They just weren't able to do the damage. Oh, middle lane. Pharaoh actually going to be falling right there as Moravis picks that one up. He does have a portal key, so that is what actually secured him that kill. A Lava Surge could be coming out here momentarily, and down the Lava Surge goes. The energy field going to assist, and Leon Black actually a serial killer right now. So we saw his effectiveness in the last game. Bottom lane's Jeppins finally gets dealt with. The QsQ guys must be sending out a rousing cheer as the tree does fall. And a swap going to be coming in right there. Nova absolutely demolishes White Tower.
Melted.
He got absolutely melted, yeah. That's a level 4 comment for you. That's 325 damage, correct? Yeah, 325 damage. That's almost half the health pool of Nova right there. That is about half the health pool.
Whenever that comment hits you, for some reason, maybe it's the animation, maybe it's the way it is, it's this huge comment flying at you, but it always seems like just, I mean, 325 is a lot, but it's only 25 more damage than a lot of the other nukes in the game, but it just seems to hurt so much more.
Yeah, certainly. And, man, TTE's now at, okay, well.
Is that actually going to go through? I guess
it's, okay, well. I was just going to mention that they are at a 10,000 gold lead and a 4,000 experience lead. So what can they do to get back into this game? But not actually going to matter because QsQ actually concedes right there. So TTEs takes this one 2-0. Night and day from the last game.
Yeah, let's say we saw them down only 10,000 gold, 3,000 experience, but it's at the time of the game it was the entire flow, the kind of composition they had. Last game when TTS was down, they did have the racks down. It was a little bit later in that game when that gap was created, and I think QsQ just knew this one was out of their hands. So,
yeah. QsQ very far behind, and they're willing to just give it up there for the time being. So that is going to be that. TTS takes it 2-0, and they are going to be moving on from that one. Any closing words? I think we're going to be shutting it down for the night, Emperor.
No, thanks everyone for tuning in. It was a lot of fun casting those games, especially that first TTS game. Still mind-blowingly amazing. Looking forward to casting more though.
All right, guys. Well, it's been Complexity Cast with Beef and Emperor, aka Brized. Actually, a big shout out to Complexity for helping to put this stream on and helping to make sure that all of you are here watching. Huge shout out. So, ComplexityGaming.com, Facebook, Complexity Gaming, and Twitter at Complexity Live. Make sure to check them out. And a big shout out to Complexity sponsors, QPad, PNY, Origin, and Sound Blaster. You can check me, Beef, out at youtube.com/beefpotpie1. VODs from this cast will be up there. Twitter at beefpotpie1 and Twitch, if my personal channel, if you ever want to watch me just screwing around in HoN or anything else that I do, HoN, StarCraft, casting those games, that's over at twitch.tv/beefpotpie1. Bryce, any stream shout outs, anything like that people should be aware of? You got your own stream going on now.
I got my own streaming going on right now. Some people might actually be tuning in right now. www.twitch.tv/domain of pain. We'll be streaming both matches, scrims, casts, things like that through it. I'm still setting up my other social media outlets, my YouTube channel, Twitter, all of that. So that'll be coming soon. But for now, that's about it.
All right. Well, guys, we are out for now. I think we're going to be coming back tomorrow to do some more replay casts from DreamHack Winter. Maybe do the semifinals, third place match, some stuff like that. So probably going to be looking at 3 or 4 more series over the next couple of days. And then, of course, Complexity Scrim's going to return later on this week as everybody starts to fly back in from Europe. And HoN Tour Cycle 1 starting this Saturday. Going to be playing in that. Both of us will be playing in that in the Gold and Diamond divisions, respectively. But I'll also be casting those games live. And, Emperor, I hope that whenever you can, you'll be able to join me for some of those live games as well.
For sure, for sure. Looking forward to it.
All right, guys, we are out for the night. Thank you very much for watching. Huge shout out to all of you. Make sure to follow here on Complexity Scrims at twitch.tv/complexityhon and on Domain of Pain, twitch.tv/domain of pain for any time we go live next time. We'll catch you then. Adios.
See ya.